Welcome to Mortgage Lending Mastery, the world's longest running podcast in the mortgage industry. I'm your host, Lady Jen Duplessis, with over 4 decades of mortgage, real estate, and financial services experience, providing the knowledge you need to advance your mortgage practice quickly and efficiently. Welcome. I am so glad you're here, Mortgage Masters. I am so glad that you all are here. And I want to introduce you to our guest today, Alina Vincent. She has a really great company that helps people with online curating, right? Online curation of new business through Facebook is one place with Facebook groups, etc. But before we get into that, we're not going to be talking about, and just I want to be clear with everybody here, we're not pitching her program. We are telling you about her program, but we are talking about new ways that you can cultivate new business in today's marketplace. And as we head into 2025, there's a lot of excitement in the mortgage business, the real estate business, that, okay, now we have a new president and everything's going to change. And we think rates are, and how long can we do this high interest rate environment? Things are going to change. We're all excited. So let's think about new ways that we can cultivate business. And that is exactly what Alina is an expert at. So again, welcome, Alina, to the show. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to just first start with a little bit about, you are doing the type of business you're doing. And I guess we should tell them these are challenges, right? Or you're going to use all the words. I'm going to let you explain it, but you were an educator for many, many years, and you put together programs and courses and classes for all of us who went to college or to high school or community college, whatever we did, so we could go in there and pick the courses, right? Like, why would I want this one? And you wrote all the stuff that said, oh, if I take this course, I'm going to have these results. And that eventually morphed into what you've been doing now for the last, 10, 15 years. So tell us a little bit about why you feel that course creation, teaching and educating consumers is so important to business.
Oh, well, where do I begin, right?
Yes.
We've chatted a little bit about this before, how wonderful and how helpful education is, because there's going to be some people, your ideal clients, who already know they need exactly what you have. They'll come to you and say, oh my gosh, you're offering exactly what I need. How do I pay with you? And we all want those clients, and they're perfect ideal clients, but most people are not like that. Most people need to learn a little bit more. Most people need to understand why they should be buying your product, your offer, and not your competitors, and what's the difference between different approaches. So that's where education comes in. So the more education you can put out there, the more clear you can make to your ideal clients why they need it, why they need this right now, what's the cost of an action, and why they should be doing business with you, the more likely you are to get the yes. That's like the basic secrets of how do you get the yes. Why this, why now, why from you. So if you're able to express that, and a lot of it, if you just come to somebody and says, I am the best, they're not going to believe you, right? So you have to have something to back it up. So that's where the more training, the more value, the more education you can put out there, the more people start understanding what's happening and why they need it, and why they should be trusting you, because they can see your expertise and your credibility. So my whole entire business is based on helping people take their intellectual property, taking their wisdom, expertise, experiences, life stories, and helping them packaged in a way that attracts their ideal clients so they get more yeses.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said life stories too, because I've really harped on that, for many years. Gosh, and I don't know when this particular podcast will be released, but we're at our 12th anniversary on January 1st, this podcast. And I've harped on this for a long time, is that, people don't buy they don't buy that you can close on time. They don't buy that you have great rates and that, it's going to be a smooth transaction. No, everybody offers that. You have to offer something different. I love that you said something about the stories, because we have to explain, a little bit about the stories. But there's the other differentiators that you're talking about here. And I know I used it in my practice, for 35 years of I always had a class going. I always had a seminar happening. I was always speaking someplace. And yet I hear about so many people that don't want to be online, don't
Mhm.
want to show their faces. They just want to talk to real estate agents or talk to financial planners and say, hey, I promise I'm going to close on time and my rates are great and I'm going to give you donuts and, maybe you'll send me business. That's just superficial. And that's a high,
Mhm.
very high level. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts about that, about the mindset shift that needs to happen in order to understand how to truly sell you.
Mhm. Such a great question. Um, Funny enough, I just did a workshop. It was called Magnetic Messaging Essentials. And we basically were telling people why, even though you're posting on Facebook or you're talking to people, you might not be getting as many people interested in working with you. And there's this formula that has to have three pieces in your message in order for the message to stick, for people to lean in, for people to want to take that next step. And there's three things in this formula, and two we know and we do, and one is completely overlooked. So I'm going to start with the ones that are easy to do. So one is you need to show your credibility. Like that's why
Mhm.
we say I've been in this business for 20 years, or I've helped close 20 deals in the last months or year. I don't know
Right.
what the good numbers are.
Yeah.
And you show like, here's where, like, here's how much I know, right? And this is with the credibility comes some of this value added tips, strategies, like I can help you navigate through specific situation you might be finding yourself in. The second part is the logistics. That's like the format. This is how soon, in your example, how soon can we close? This is how many days. This is what you can expect from me. This is how responsive I will be. So that's the logistics, the format, the pricing of what it is that you're offering. And the piece that's most overlooked is the emotional connection. So
Yeah.
that's where you have to show to people you understand how important it is to them. You understand what they're going through. You understand what their fears are. And the more of that emotional connection you can put into anything you're putting out there, email, one-on-one communication, talking to people during networking meetings, or posting something online, the more you have that emotional connection, the more people will say, I agree with your values. I see who you are. You see me. And that's why now that logically I can justify you have the credibility, you have the right offer, but I'm going to go with you versus somebody else because of that emotional connection. And it's hard because anytime you are doing anything that shows a little bit more of the real you, it's vulnerable. And
Oh,
so I work with so many people who say, I need to get more clients. So to me, my number one social media platform of choice is Facebook. There's billions of monthly active users. Doesn't matter what business you have, what kind of clients you're looking for, they are there. There's hundreds of thousands of your ideal clients that are already there. It's free to use, it's super easy to use, and people check it every single day. So if you're looking
yeah.
for like an easy way to getting visibility and getting the spotlight for what you do and building the relationships, to me, in my book, it's Facebook. Now, when you go to Facebook and just say, I have this offer, I have this offer, I have this offer, it's not gonna go get you very far. So you have to open up a little bit, that crack that door for who you are and what are your values, what some of the things you believe in, what are some of the like stories that you went through, what is the story of you buying your very first house, or uh, dealing
Yeah.
with the bad debt, or figuring out how to improve your credit score, or anything that your ideal clients are going through. And the more they see it, the more they see the real you, and that's what makes you unique. So I have like number one question that I get from clients about getting visible on Facebook, or just getting visible and cutting through the noise, is how do I stand out? And most people think they need to come up with the more creative way of explaining what they do, or having a more creative title, where in reality, the only thing you need to do is turn that button up for who you are and what you
Yeah.
like and what
Yeah.
your values are and what you believe in. And it doesn't mean that you're going to air out all of your dirty laundry on social media. Like that's the
Although some
least.
do, although some do as part of their story, and
Uh,
that's fine.
well, if you choose it, if
Yeah.
it's not just like constant drama. But the easiest way, one of my first coaches taught me that when I was first starting out, and I'm like, I'm not telling anything on Facebook. I'll say like, here's my webinar, or here's my training, or
Yeah.
here's my seminar, but don't ask me anything personal. So she said, pick three things that you're going to be completely transparent about. And it could be anything that, but it has to be from your personal life. So for example, do you like traveling? Post a lot about travel. Where are you planning on going? What are the pictures from the travel? What are some of the memories? What are you learning? What are you eating? Who are you connecting with? Maybe the next thing will be about gardening. Like show pictures of your garden, show pictures of you in the garden, show pictures of the whatever you're growing. Third one might be something like I have a friend who posts every day about coffee. She can't live without coffee. And all of the memes, all of the jokes, all of the things, it's all around coffee. And having just even three glimpses into somebody, it helps people to find a common ground. You're like, oh, you like coffee. I like coffee too.
Yeah.
It gives
Yeah.
you that opening in the conversation. So like when people don't know what to give her for her birthday, what do you think she gets? She gets mugs that has some kind of things around the coffee, or she gets coffee. And it helps people say like, oh, you just like us. And you don't have to be open about anything else in your life, but having just three things you decide you're going to be constantly posting. That's how we mix that personal with professional, but it makes you look like a three-dimensional person, not just a robot that's posting like the memos from your company that sounds like everybody else.
I know. And that is one of the things that I just despise when my clients come to me and they say, well, I've been marketing on Facebook. And I say, well, I'm going to go look. I'm going to go look at what you market. And they're these canned things.
Mhm.
And not that isn't anything wrong with that, because it is educational, but you have to pepper in the personal life into it. And, and that's what will attract people to you. But so thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that information. We ended up going down a little hole that I wasn't going to go into, and I'm glad we did. And I think that's wonderful. So it just makes it easier to say, talk about what maybe you like sports and you just want to talk about sports teams and show the
Yes.
results or whatever. It doesn't matter, but find something that you want to do. But of what I want to talk about today specifically, as is challenges, right?
Yes. Mhm.
5-day challenges, 7-day, 21. You can tell us how many they think, you think everybody should do. But
Mhm.
this is a way that people can get attracted to learning more about what you do
Yes.
without you giving away the bank, right?
Yes.
And I shouldn't use those words on this podcast, right? Without you giving away all the details. So you don't want to educate them so much that it confuses them, because that can happen in lending and in real estate. There's a lot of nuances. And so you don't want to over educate that they walk away and go, I'm just too confused. But you want to give them simple strategies, simple steps, simple action plans that they can take to prepare for buying, to prepare for refinancing, to prepare for buying another house, to prepare for investing, to get their ducks in a row for as a renter, so they can do that preparing. But also, and so listen carefully on this, also, you should be educating your referral partners, not only on your products, which I don't ever educate on products. It's, here's everything about what we can do. Now let's figure out which product is best for you.
Mhm.
And I hear it all the time. People say to me, Jen, you don't have anything on your website about your courses. Nope, I don't, because I want to hear from you so that I can discern what's going to work best for you. Right. Whereas other people put all their products on, and that's fine. I just don't do that. But in the context of mortgages, we're not talking about, here's my 203K program, my renovation loan, here's my this loan, my that loan. We're talking about ways that your referral partners can grow their business as well, because then you grow your business. So what you're teaching to your clients, you can teach to your referral partners and beyond, because now you're teaching them in business. So give us some ideas on how a loan officer might do a 5-day challenge for a client, and do a 5-day challenge. Maybe you want to tell us 3 or 7-day, whatever you want, but and then how they might want to do that differently for a realtor,
Mhm.
or a referral partner.
Yeah, I might need to tap into your help, and I might
That's fine.
ask you
That's
questions,
fine.
but
Yeah.
let's kind of step back a little bit and let's define everything first. So when I'm talking about online challenges, to me, it's a mini training. So usually our golden standard for what we teach. And we've been running challenges in our business for 10 years now. We've been teaching it for about 8 years. So over the years, we've done everything from 3-day challenges to 7-day challenges, 10 days, 30 days. 5-day challenge is the golden standard for us because it's super easy to implement, super easy for your people to commit to and actually complete, because challenge is not going to do you anything if people did not go through it. And it's something that can get your results basically in just days. So in a week, you can start seeing new clients and new referrals and new business. So the definition is it's a mini training where your participants go through a series of actions at the same time to achieve a common goal. So we run our challenges live. There's ways to repurpose this later on, make it into a lead magnet, but you're not going to get the magic of a live challenge. So that means there's a starting point, like we start on Monday, there's an ending point, so we end on Friday, and over those 5 days, you gather everybody who has similar questions, similar concerns, similar results that they want to achieve, and you basically giving them a set of instructions every single day to achieve a goal. And our challenges are incredibly simple to implement. A lot of people that I work with, they're just starting out their business or just starting to build their online component, building their presence. So our challenges consist of 5 10-minute videos. So overall, it's like 50 minutes of content. If you can teach a workshop, like an hour workshop
A
on any
first-time home
topic,
buyer seminar,
yes,
right?
yeah. Or
You
like,
break it up into the little pieces.
how
Yeah,
do you increase your whatever score? What is it
yeah.
called?
Credit score.
Trace, I knew that. So how to increase your credit score in like an hour. If you can teach it in an hour, you can do it as a 5-day challenge. So you don't have to come up with hours and hours of material. And it should be something that already top of mind. So when you create that challenge, you basically bringing people in your community. And this is where, again, Facebook comes in, because when people come to me and say, I don't know who I can enroll, who I can talk to, we have this new offer, we have new thing, the very first questions I'm going to ask you is, how big is your list? And where do you have a community? Where do you have people who follow you and interested in the topics and conversations you have? And everybody should be growing their email list. That's like it's a must. We're not even going to talk about it. But the second thing, having a Facebook community, it's a great way because you're not just talking to people and it's not a one-way conversation, but you have gathered them so they can see what everybody else is going through. They can see questions that other people ask and they connect with each other. So the value, it's kind of like, think of a networking group. You're not just going to a networking event because of the organizer, like you, but because of the community that gets created and connections that are getting created. So think of your Facebook group and community the same exact way. You're not going to be there to give them all of the answers. You're going to be a facilitator of that group. And the best way to create that community is by running challenges and constantly re-engaging people. So to me, those
And
two
that's where your
methods go hand in
expertise
hand.
does come in, though. That's where
Yes.
your expertise is shown, and of course that means that you can answer questions in your community as well.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So if we go back to like the topics, because you said, how would a loan officer uh, create a challenge? So you always start with, who am I trying to attract? So let's
Mhm.
say for this specific challenge, you say my ideal clients are people who are looking to buy their new home, to refinance their home. So anybody who wants to have 4 walls around them and own it, right?
Right.
So you want to create a good group of them, gather them together, teach them something, and then let them know something about the packages, the offers, the products that you have to share with them. So the first question is who, right? So identify
Mhm.
who your ideal client is. The next question you should be asking yourself is, what is the next step I want them to take? So we never start with, this is a good topic challenge. We always start as, what do we want to sell at the end? What do we want them to say yes to? So would you give me like an example of what
Oh yeah, I mean,
specific
especially with
offer would
first-time
be?
home buyer, it's filling out an application and saying, now I'm ready to move forward. You've shown me how I
Perfect.
can fix my credit, so now I want to work with you. I want
Yeah, so
you.
those are a couple of different things, right? So
Yeah,
let's say in this case, it's going to be first-time home buyers, and you want them to fill out that application for the first form and basically work with you through the process. Great. So
Mhm.
the next question you want to ask yourself is, what do they need to understand? What do they need to have in order to say, yes, I'm ready to fill out the application and I'm
Yeah.
ready to work with you? So in that case, several things you've just said. Number one would be like, how do I improve my credit score? Because I'm already aware with what I
Right.
have right now, I won't qualify. Or how do I fill out the application and like help me through the process because there's so many documents and I have to like dig through that and it's
Right,
overwhelming,
right.
so I'm
The
just not going to do
process
it.
itself,
Right?
right.
So
Yeah,
pick one
yeah,
of those. Which one
yeah.
would be like the top of mind for your ideal clients?
Oh, you want me to
That's a
pick
question.
one?
Yeah, why
For
not?
them, I think for first-time home buyers, the number one thing is down payment, to be honest
Down
with you. How much
payment.
down
Okay.
payment do I need? So I think you could do a 5-day challenge on understanding down payment,
Okay.
the different
So
sources to get it from.
perfect. So the
Yeah.
key here is you don't want to create a challenge that's only information based. So when you're
Mhm.
describing a challenge, it should not be in this challenge, you're going to learn how to collect money for down payment. That is like create an ebook, create a PDF. You can still do it. It's not going to give you the magic of a challenge. So the challenge has to be experiential. So always ask yourself, what will my people have at the end? So in this case, I would probably focus on how to create a plan for putting down your down payment. So
Yeah,
not
yeah,
information based, but in like language is important, messaging is important. So you don't want people to learn more because they can just go and watch a YouTube video, but you
right.
want them to get them into action. So like the action plan for getting that down payment ready. And then you basically go wherever you go. You can go to networking events, you can go on social media, you can go post on Facebook, you can just tell all of your friends, however you normally share the information and say, I'm doing this absolutely free training where I can teach you in just 5 days how you can easily get your 20% down payment ready for your first purchase of the home. If you're interested or know anybody who's interested, have them keep, because I'm going to be sharing with you all of my secrets from my 20 years of working with people and helping them get into the home. Right? So now it
Yeah,
becomes an irresistible offer because you're promising something tangible and it's completely free. So they have nothing to lose. It's a little bit of a taster and a teaser, and it's practical. So once your people sign in, all you have to do is for 5 days, give them one step a day. Like it could be 5 different ways to come up with the down
yeah.
payment.
Have a
Could
garage
be,
sale, right?
yes.
It could be, yeah.
Mhm.
How to implement a garage sale and find some extra money. Yeah.
Yeah, or you could start with number one. Let's calculate it. Let's figure out, let's
How
set
much
up
do
your
you need?
plan, right? How much do you
Right.
need? So you're actually working with real numbers. Do you
Yeah,
already have it? How much do you need to generate, raise, or come up with creative ways? So like the challenge itself, that's where your genius comes in. So
yeah,
if 10 people create exactly the same challenge, it's going to be different because you're going to come up with your own way of teaching somebody. So think of like if you had in front of you your ideal dream client who's like, "Ah, I don't know how I can even come up with a down payment," what would you tell them? And you put that in your challenge, and that's what makes you unique because it's not a cookie cutter approach. Nobody told you here's the exact steps you have to follow. You just say, from my experience, here's the best way to approach it. And here's
yeah,
how you figure out your timeline. This is like creative way that nobody's thinking of, but you can do it. So that's your
yeah,
challenge. That's your magic. And inside of this challenge, what happens is you are developing trust. That's the number one reason we do challenges because you want people to trust that if you said you're going to come up with your 20% down payment ideas for the plan for the down payment by the end of the challenge and they have it, they're like, oh, she delivered on her promise. She said she promised this and I got it. So trust
yeah,
is incredible because everybody's so skeptical of everything right now. Number two, they get a taste of what it's like to work with you, to learn from you, to hear from you, your values, your magic, your voice, like your humor, because we do business with people we connect with, we resonate with. So it gives them a really good glimpse without ever having to buy or making any contracts or commitments to taste you and to test you, I guess, and get a taste of what it's
get a
like to
taste of
work.
what it's
Yes,
like. Yeah, to
exactly.
dip your
That's what I
toe
was
into
trying
the,
to
yeah,
say.
to dip your
Exactly.
toe. Yeah,
Yes. And if you do it
absolutely.
the right way, you are leading them to that offer. So by the time the challenge is over, your goal will be for them to say, great, now that I got this idea, what about these other three things? And how do I work with you to take the next step? That's
Right,
the
right,
goal of the whole
for the
challenge.
credit and for the other and for the other and whatever. And then in the case of, a partner, it's similar to that as well,
Yes.
partner that they're having, and based on your experience with working with others, what have you learned that could take them to the promised land, so to speak? And I think,
100%.
I always think of it as a river. You're on this side of the river, I've been to the other side of the river, and I have the canoe, the right canoe with the right size, with the right temperature, with the right point in the river to cross over to get
Hmm.
you to the other side.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's what you're describing in the canoe, right? Is like,
Hmm.
here's where you're at, here's where you want to go, I've been there, let me paint the way for you,
Hmm.
pave the way,
Absolutely.
paint the picture for you. Yeah, yeah, I love that. Okay, so I've asked you this before, is it the chicken or the egg? Do we start our Facebook group first, or do we do the challenge first?
Hmm. So great
Because,
question.
well, and
Both.
because I think many people watching are not thinking they should have a Facebook group. One of the things I did when I was in lending is I had the Kearney Homebuyer Club. That was
Uh-huh.
my Facebook group, was the Kearney Homebuyer Club. And all of my prospective buyers were put into the club.
Hmm. Okay, so couple of things, and the answer will be both. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna get to it. So number one, if you do not have a Facebook group right now and you're struggling, you asking yourself, where am I gonna find the next person to say yes to me, to work with me? You need to have a Facebook group, because if you have a group and a list, that's where you make all of your offers, all of your invitations, where you are talking to people, where you're building relationships. And again, it's completely free to do. You can set up a group in 5 minutes. The biggest question people ask me when they say like, okay, what if I set up the group, is how much time, what kind of a time drain will it be? And how do I get people engaged there? I don't want to be like a group with 20 people or 200 people where I have to talk to them constantly and nobody else talks. So to answer that question, number one, if you do not have a group yet, the best way to start a group is by running a challenge. So if you're running a challenge and you're getting your, like, I am ready to buy a house, or I'm thinking about buying a house, and I am like on this edge, I just need to learn a little bit more about it. You're getting all of them interested in your challenge. They're all signing up for the challenge because, again, it's a practical, experiential, result driven training that is free. It's really easy for people to say yes to at the end of the challenge, because inside of the Facebook group, they're going to win prizes. They're going to comment. They're going to post their homework assignment. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to interact with you. They're going to interact with each other. You end up with a pre-built community. So leaving the challenge, they already got used to checking it every day, posting there every day, and talking to each other. You don't have to train them on how to use the Facebook group. All you need to do is now post some questions, some topics, some themes on a regular basis to bring them back into the group. And just the challenge itself can easily get you a whole bunch of life into your group for the next 3 months or so, and then run another challenge, do a summit, do something else that brings the engagement up again. You kind of have to do a little bit of work to bring that engagement up. How much time do you need to spend on the group? Like when you're not running a challenge? Actually, I have over 38,000 people in my Facebook group right now, and I spend maybe 5 minutes a day on it, because I'm not running it where I'm going to be here answering all of your questions. I'm running it as a networking group where I brought you together. The value is in it from every single person who joined. I'm going to give you some prompt. I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you sort of like the starting point of the conversation, and then the conversation are just happening. So it doesn't take that much time. Now, so that's if you don't have a Facebook group right now. If you currently have a group, and maybe it's active, maybe it's not, the best way to move your people from social media to your list, so you have an asset that you actually own, is by running a challenge, because people have to sign in order to be the challenge. And it's a way to re-engage the group. So if hasn't been much activity, if there hasn't been much happening, start a challenge. It will incredibly reinvigorate and re-energize your group, and get people back into the habit of showing up every day, checking every day, posting every day, and communicating with each other. So for both, for creating a brand new group and for re-engaging existing group, challenges is kind of the only answer.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I want you to hear this as Alina is talking about this, is that this is something different. This is
Mhm.
something maybe you haven't ever tried. Maybe you have heard of them or saw them on Facebook, but never really participated in anything, in a challenge. And maybe you have. maybe you have at some point, but the idea here is we're approaching, while we're recording this 2025, as we're approaching this new year, this is a new idea to spark some more energy and ignite some more activities in your business as we approach not only the new year, but the Christmas season, or the holiday season. And then we're going to get into winter for those of us that are in the areas, where business kind of slows down in winter, because people are all hunkered down. This is a great way for you to continue to grow your business in that manner. So that's why I wanted Alina to come in here, because it's just, I think it's fantastic. I'm going to be having challenges in 2025 because I'm learning from her as well to grow my practice. Same thing. So I never bring anything to you that I wouldn't consider and that I wouldn't vet out and make sure that, it was great for you to do. So is there anything, Alina, thank you so much for all of that. And we will have in the show notes, a link where you can go and get information about being in one of her challenges, or taking the course on how to do challenges yourself. You can try it yourself and see how it goes. Or you can, learn from the best to see, how to create something for yourself. But what would you like to leave a loan officer or a realtor who's listening to this, maybe even a real estate investors listening to this and saying, how do I find more homes, homes to sell? So maybe I need to talk to, different types of people and create my own type of challenge on, what I'm looking for in a home and how you could, participate. What do you want to leave us with? What kind of counsel would you like to leave us with today?
I think what I want to say is, from what I've realized in the last 10 years of running this business, is engagement is one of the biggest keys to building relationships with your potential clients and to them saying yes. You might be putting a lot of information there, but if people are just reading it and processing and they're passive, they're a lot less likely to do something about it or to take that next step. So to me, engagement equals sales. The more engagement you can get from your ideal potential clients, the more sales you're going to have. And challenges is one of the easiest ways to create that engagement. And the reason people love challenges is, and it's not something that's going away, it is a fresh new method. And this is why so many people are jumping into the challenges, because that's what's working right now, is because people want that engagement. They want the kind of the no fluff, no bullshit, like let's just get to the point, and I don't want to go through hours and hours to get that one little gem. Just give them that specific, specified, direct approach for step one, step two, step three, step four. And the last thing is people crave community. We are more isolated than we've ever been in the whole history of human existence. And people want to be surrounded by like-minded people who's going through the same journey right now. So like if they're looking for a house, or if they're looking to design their dream house, or they're looking to refinance, we instantly start going like, who else been there? Who else can I talk to? Am I the only one with these questions? How else can I surround myself with people? So challenges gives you all of that. It gives you instant engagement. It gives you the community of your ideal clients who are eager to take that next step. And the last thing I want to leave you here is challenges attract action takers. If you create reports, if you create checklists, if you create quizzes, all of that is passive. We download the ebook or report to our computer and never do anything with it. Challenges,
We've all done it.
Yes, challenges, you telling people you're going to be doing assignments every day. You're going to be taking action every day. So challenges serve as a filter to give you your ideal clients on a silver platter who are ready to push that button now, who are ready to pull the trigger now, because otherwise they would not be part of a challenge. So if you want to primarily talk to people who are ready to take that next step and maybe just waiting for just a little bit more information, a little bit more trust, a little bit more something, challenge is what pushes them over that edge. So I hope you do challenges.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously you love it, and you have a seven-figure business as a result of this. And how many challenges do you run a year now
We
versus
do
what
about
you did in the
5.
beginning? Okay.
Well, we've always done anywhere between like 3 to 5 challenges over the years we've done. Some
Yeah.
years we've done a little bit more. Right now, we're like at about 4 or 5 challenges a year, and we use challenges for everything. We use challenges to lead to our life events. We do challenges to lead to programs. We do challenges to lead to just getting one-on-one clients. We've done it for launching a book. So to me, challenge is what you do in front of any campaign if you want to engage your clients and then lead them to your offer. Like I would not offer anything or do a launch or campaign in my business without putting a challenge in front of it, because it just supercharges everything you do.
Wow, that's really cool. And to learn how to do that, you have to work with Alina, because she will help you. Because I know even me, I'm thinking, okay, so if I had a client appreciation party, why would I do a challenge before it? If I had a seminar, I get the seminar, but I mean, I'm speaking as a loan officer, real estate agent, if I, was having a holiday party, why would I want to do a challenge before that? And then of course, I've encouraged everyone who's listening to write a book. Please write a book. Please write a book. Even if it's an ebook, write a book, right? But get the launch out there. And yeah, I can see how a challenge could lead up to that. No question
Yeah.
whatsoever. But if
Yeah,
you're
we've published 5 books over the last 5 years, all around
yeah,
how to share your expertise. I would not do any book launch without a challenge first.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree. And I wish I had done that with my books, because I think it would have done something different than what it has done. But thankfully, I'm writing another book this year, so now I
There
have
you
a
go.
different way of doing it. So I love it. Well, I appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much for your expertise. And as I said before, we will have the link in the show notes for you to get information about how to work with Alina if that's what you want to do. And again, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, I see you. Thank
Thank
you
you for
so much.
having me.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you. You're going to be on the Marketers Cruise, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so
For
I will
sure.
see you in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. Well, again, thank you so much for listening in, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you for joining Mortgage Lending Mastery. If you found value in today's conversation and would like to get support, simply go to supportfromjen.com. That's supportfromjen.com, or reach out to me on social media. Keep watching and listening for more insider secrets, stories, strategies, and ideas to help you become a master in your business.